Uh, in this tutorial, I'm going to go over Photomatix, which is our HDR processing software. And I'm going to kind of explain, I want you to kind of understand why we use these things. That really helps. I'm going to show you how to use it, but it's good that you know why. So, like you said, your main job is processing photos. Now, typical day in the life, you're going to go into your Dropbox folder. It's called Android Sync right now. It's just a Dropbox folder. If you get Dropbox, installed on your computer, then it'll just happen automatically. And what's going to happen is, daily, you're just going to have a bunch of photos. All right, and your job is to kind of figure out what to do with them. And they are labeled better than you think. Like, for instance, if you look right here, you can barely see it, but like the reason this photo was taken is that's an ATM machine. So in the app, in the ATM section, this is for someone to find the closest ATM near them. And we took a picture of it, and we're going to show the GPS location. We also use these things called slates. See, this is the first photo in the series is going to be a slate. The photographer takes a picture literally of an index card, and it's usually at the category name. And then here, as you can see, there's GPS coordinates. So, if you look at it, like everything you'd need to know is in these photos. All right. So that's just a quick guide on, trying to understand why these photos were taken. Now, one thing I want to show you is, you see how the words are, it says single? If it says single, that means it's a single shot, and all it needs to be is edited in Lightroom. But sometimes you're going to see them where it says BRKT, which stands for bracket. Now, if they're marked bracket, or if you just notice that the photos are bracketed photos, you need to use Photomatix to process them. Now, let me show you what a bracket looks like. Bracketed photos, you might already know, they are a series of photos at different exposures of the same thing. This is the slate, so I'm about to shoot a restaurant. But you see how it's 5 different photos. So, and you can see them numbered. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 5. And the reason why you do this is the only way you can get good lighting. Like, for instance, let me show you. 1 second. Okay, this restaurant, see if I can give you a good example. Okay, this is a good example. This restaurant is right on the water, and it's kind of dark inside. So we shoot brackets because, like, that's the see how in this photo you can see the Gulf view a little better, but you can't see inside. But then as I go down the line, as I get, like, watch when I get to the last one, okay, I'm starting to get detail in here of the inside of the house, but I can't see out here. All right, so that is why we use we bracket it so we can process it through Photomatix, and it will blend it, and I'm going to show you how to do that. It'll blend it into a perfectly balanced photo. So if you see brackets, you've got to do this process with Photomatix right here. So you open Photomatix. I'll do another video with the settings, but you're going to have default settings. We're using 5 at a time. I'll do subfolder within source folder. You're going to have a preset that I'll send you, image alignment, strong sharpening. Okay, first thing, you got to select the files you want to process. So I'll go to select files. Let me find them, bear with me. All right, so you find the brackets you want to process. And this is important. You have to load them in order. So like you got to make sure you're sorted when you select the files 0, 1, 2, 3. See how it's in order? Otherwise they'll get messed up. Why does that have? Okay, here's a good example. Don't do that one. Okay, so we'll go over this process. Bottom line is you load the files in that you want to process, and they need to be in the right order. All right, so then when you hit run, it's going to start going, and wherever your output folder is, I'm going to show you what it looks like after a couple of process. Now the first one is usually, it's usually a slate to help you organize it. Let's see. All right, so it's already starting to process. So this is the first one that's spit out. Shit. See what it looks like. Yeah, it's the slate. So as you can see, the slate processed good. So now you know this is going to be a restaurant. All these ones coming with. The reason for the slates is all the like between the two slates in a group of photos. That's how you know which photos go with which. So if you're editing and you see a slate, you know that all the photos after that go with that category, like restaurant. And then when you see the next slate, that means you know it's it's a new property. So it's just a way of dividing. All right, so that's an exterior. Let's see if we can get an interior. See, that's a little bit more well balanced. This was a really tough restaurant, brightest I've ever seen. But I think this next one. All right, so there we go. See, look at that. If you remember, look at that. You've got inside and outside, and you just can't get that in camera. So it's a process known as HDR, and this is really powerful HDR. So this is an explanation of why you do it. So now you're going to take this photo and you're going to edit it in Lightroom just a normal way. But if you see brackets, you've got to process it to Photomatix first. All right, that's it.